Hi, today we're going to be talking about the water cycle. This goes along with your S1E1 standard, which is obtain, evaluate, and communicate weather data to identify weather patterns. So first we're going to talk about clouds. So clouds are something that hold water, and we know rain comes from clouds. But how does rain get there, and how do the clouds make the rain come down? Do they just choose? Is it when they get too heavy? How do clouds know when it's time for them to rain? First, we're going to start off with the sun. Everyone knows that the sun is what makes us warm and is very, very hot. So you might be wondering, how does the sun affect rivers and lakes and the ocean, and where do clouds come in, and how do they get water for rain? So the sun is very hot and heats up the water, and when water gets hot, it turns into a gas. So this gas rises up into the air, and once it's in the air, it condenses, which means it all clumps together and it forms a cloud. Now that cloud stays there until it gets so heavy that it must have rain come down. So when the rain comes down, it goes into the rivers and the lakes and the oceans, and then the sun heats it all up again, and the water turns into a gas, goes back into the air, fills up the clouds again and makes them nice and heavy, and then the clouds rain down again into the rivers and the lakes and the oceans. And then, guess what? The water heats up from the sun and goes back into the air again and fills up the clouds. And this cycle happens over and over again, and this is what we call the water cycle. So I'm sure you guys have all seen before the weatherman on TV when your mom is watching the news and wondering, should I bring an umbrella tomorrow? Do I need to wear a rain jacket? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? So I'm telling you guys can be your own weather men and women. So what we're going to do today is create our own rain gauge, and we're going to be weather people, and we're going to get to observe the rain and see how many inches of rain fall that day, and we can keep track of it with a log. So the only materials we're going to need today is a plastic bottle. So you can get like a Coke bottle or a Sprite bottle and rip off the label. So we need a plastic bottle, a marker to draw on the bottle and mark the inches, a ruler to make sure we know how many inches, and then a piece of paper to log all of our results for the week. The safety for today's experiment is to make sure you have your parents' permission, and to make sure that you do not draw on anything but the bottle when you are writing with your permanent marker. So here are the three materials we need. I have a plastic bottle that I ripped the label off of. I have a Sharpie, which we need to be careful with and make sure we only draw on the plastic bottle with this. And I have my ruler. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay my bottle flat and use my hand to make sure it stays flat. Then I'm going to get my ruler and place it at the bottom of the bottle. I'm going to mark it each inch and each half inch. Now I have labeled each inch and inch and a half on my bottle. So all we have to do now is unscrew the cap and leave the cap off and place it outside. Make sure to place your rain gauge on a level surface without anything obstructing it, which means no trees should be covering the top. We want to make sure that the rain can fall right in so we have an accurate measurement. Now we are going to leave the water bottle, which is now our rain gauge, outside and check on it each day and record the weather on our log. All we need for our log is a piece of paper that is blank and a pen. We're going to make a couple columns across the top that say the date and the amount of rainfall we got. Here is the log I created. I put the dates on the left, and I did it for an entire week, starting with April 12th and ending on April 18th. Then on the right, I'm going to record the amount of rain we got each day. So today I came out here to check the rain gauge because we had a big storm last night on April 12th, and it looks like 2.25 inches of rain fell from the sky. I'm going to go record this in my log. And I hope you all do the same too, so you can continue being weather people. Remember to pour out the water each day so that you do not get the days of rain mixed up. So I'm going to dump out this water and leave this here so we can collect the amount of rain on the next day. So here you can see I recorded the amount of rain that we got with the date next to it, and we will do this for the rest of the week. So it's the morning of April 14th, and I want to make sure that we are getting the rain from the entire day, so I always do it the next morning so we can record the rain that happened that night. And it looks like there was no rain yesterday, so for April 13th we're going to put 0 inches. So here's my log so far. Like we just saw, for April 13th there was 0 inches of rain, so I wrote that down. And now tomorrow morning I will check for how much rain we got on April 14th. So it's the morning of April 15th, and we're now looking at the rain that happened all day of April 14th, and as you can see, we did not get any rain. Therefore, we're going to record on the log 0 inches for April 14th. So now that we checked the rain this morning, we're going to go to our log and record it. So April 14th, we got 0 inches. So now we're going to wait till tomorrow and then record April 15th. It's the morning of April 16th, and as you can see, we got no rain for all of April 15th. It's another 0 inches we're going to record on the log. Okay, so now that we saw how much rain happened on April 15th, we're going to record it. And remember from our rain gauge that we saw 0 inches, so we're going to write down 0 inches for today. So it's the morning of April 17th, and as you can see, we got 0 inches of rain for April 16th. Let's go back inside and record this. So for April 16th, we got 0 inches of rain again. And remember, you guys can be the weather people and report this to your parents, your friends, and let them know the weather for the week and how many inches we've gotten each day so far. Check back tomorrow on the morning of April 18th, and we'll see how much rain we got for all day of April 17th from our rain gauge. It's the morning of April 18th, and as you can see, we had a sunny day yesterday, so we got 0 inches of rain again. Let's go inside and record this. So we just checked outside, and it's the morning of April 18th, and again for April 17th, we got 0 inches of rain. So we're going to record that in our log. So it's the morning of April 19th, and as you can see, we're still getting rain, so we're going to go check our rain gauge and see how much rain we got for all of April 18th. So here's our rain gauge, and as you can see, it's really wet, and it looks like we got ½ inch of rain for April 18th. Okay, so it's our final day of keeping track of the rain for the week, and as you guys just saw outside, it's the morning of April 19th, and it's still raining, but we've gotten 0.5 inches of rain on April 18th last night. Don't forget about what we learned with the weather cycle, where the waters in the lakes and the oceans and the river heat up from the sun and the water particles turn into gas and go into the sky, where they condense to form nice clouds. Once those clouds get heavy, remember it rains. Keep this in mind whenever you're looking at the weather or trying to keep track of your log. I really hope that you guys enjoyed keeping track of the rain with our rain gauge. You guys can continue to do this for the rest of summer or however long you like and keep record of it. You also can do this with other types of weather such as sun, or we can record if it was cloudy out or if it was storming and just write down what the weather looked like for that day and keep track of it in our log. This is a very simple task and something to do to help you stay busy during the quarantine.